Okay, hello and welcome to take two of Old Faithful. We were interrupted by the telephone the first time. I am your host, Matt Trask. Thanks to Perfect Wave Productions. Steve and Jay down here making me look good. Perfect Wave Productions is at 1215 East St. Patrick Street here in Rapid City. Live sound and production and amplifier repair facility. And what else do I need to say here? Please I've been forgetting to say this. Please like, support, and share my YouTube channel, Matthew Trask. If you do, in fact, support, if you like these videos, I'm having a hell of a time here, Aaron.
You're doing all right.
And thank you very much for your support. Ladies and gentlemen, by the time you see this, it won't matter. It might even be hotter, but it is hotter than the hubs of hell out here today. And we've been working pretty hard, both of us, me and the guest, and he's elected not to play his instrument of choice, which you can see is the drums. Mr. Aaron Barton, a very good friend of mine here in Rapid City. How are you today?
Doing well, thank you.
Well, it's nice to be in the air conditioning, isn't it?
That is for sure. Yeah, it was way too hot today.
So tell us about you.
What do you want to know? I'm originally from a town called Apopka, Florida.
Apopka, Florida.
Yeah, it's just north of Orlando.
Okay.
So yeah, Central Florida. I moved here first time in 2003.
Okay.
Probably stayed about 2 years, went back and forth, and about 10 years ago made it permanent here in Rapid.
Okay. I did not know that about you. As you were mentioning before the show, we've become very good friends, but we haven't had a deep conversation in the, I think, 3 years that I've known you. How did you get here in 2003 the first time?
Stupidity, no.
That's how we all got here, buddy.
No, it was some girl.
Oh, okay. Girls have changed location to men for a very long time. They've even written books about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, how long were you here that first time?
Probably about 2 years.
Okay. All right. And then you moved back to Apopka, Florida?
I went back to I actually went to Orlando after.
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
Tell us about Apopka, because we probably have time.
I don't know, man. It's actually kind of I don't know. It's been so long since I've been there.
Would it be considered like a suburb of Miami, kind of?
You know, it could almost be considered maybe like Rapid.
Okay.
But not probably, I don't think it's quite as big. I'd say it was the second largest city growing wise in Florida.
Okay.
It expanded quite a bit, actually.
Okay.
Especially since I graduated.
Right. Well, everything's been growing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you went back down to Miami.
No,
and Orlando, excuse me. I don't know why I got it in my head Miami.
I have been to
Apopka is
Miami.
near Orlando.
I have been to Miami. That place is crazy.
So now tell us about, we got sidetracked, but that's okay. Tell us about your musical journey.
So I played in drumline. Well, middle school I started off saxophone.
Okay.
And, I switched over my 7th grade year to drums.
All right.
Moved to a new school, actually. They built a new school. That's how fast we were growing.
Okay, sure.
So we built a new middle school. I moved to that school, and then I was talking to the band director, and I was like, hey, I want to switch to drums. And then, so he put me in concert band, and I was only in concert band for a week, and then they immediately put me in the symphonic band.
Okay.
With the 8th graders.
Oh, wow.
In 1 week.
Cool.
I don't know why.
Yeah. What made you decide you wanted to switch particularly to drums?
My cousin Brian and my Uncle Wayne. Actually.
Okay.
My cousin Brian had drums in their garage. And they both played guitar as well. So I started dabbling around with them.
Mm-hmm.
I was attracted to the drums growing up as a kid, and once I got behind the kit, it was pretty much the end story there.
Right.
First song my uncle and my cousin taught me was Elvis's Teddy Bear.
Okay.
And then
yeah.
So that was fun. And then like the second one was like Poison's Every Rose Has a Storm.
Oh wow, okay.
So then it just kinda took off from there.
Uh-huh.
And then when I went to high school, I went to drumline, and they tried me on bass, that didn't fit. They tried me on snare, that didn't fit, and they ended up putting me on quads.
Okay.
With the seniors.
All right.
And then that was pretty much it from there.
I see.
And it just kind of took off.
So what did you play in the symphonic band the second week?
Snare. I played the snare on the morning announcements. Xylophone, timpanis.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I played,
wow.
I played kettle drums pretty much my 7th and 8th grade year.
Okay. Had you ever been around a xylophone or a timpanis?
No.
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 Was that easy for you, or?
I picked it up pretty quick, actually.
Yeah.
And it was fun. I actually enjoyed it, honestly. And nobody else seemed to really want to do it, and I just was like, well, I'll take it. And I learned a lot about a lot of different things at doing that, playing xylophone and timpanis, and more understanding scales and notes
Right.
and stuff like that, and tuning,
Sure.
especially tuning.
Okay.
So with timpanis and stuff like that, depending on the piece, sometimes you actually got to tune it in the middle of the piece.
Oh, wow.
So you either got to be able to listen, because a lot of times the dial that you're looking at isn't always right.
Okay. Sure. Aha. So, let's see here. What else? What was your first drum set? Or did we borrow cousin Bruce's?
Actually, my cousin gave me that kit.
Oh, wow.
I can't remember what it was. It was an old beater for sure. I couldn't tell you the brand, honestly.
Okay.
But it was actually a blue color.
It was blue?
It was blue.
That's important information for the show. Yeah, it was blue.
So,
okay. Blue
that I do
sparkle or
remember.
just flat blue?
I think it was like just a dark, flat, painted blue.
Okay, all right.
I'm not even sure if it was a wrap or not.
Sure. All right.
But the floor tom had no legs on it.
Oh.
So I set it up on books, and it was painted yellow. So that was my first kit, and then he gave me the framework to apparently it was a very classic Ludwig snare.
Okay.
And so when my parents went to get it redone for me, new heads, snares, all built, the guys that put it together and stuff tried to buy it from my parents.
Oh, wow.
And they said no.
They said no. Do you still have that?
I wish.
You do not have that.
No.
Dang.
My senior year of high school, I actually, before I went to the Army, I gave that kit to another kid that I went to school with.
Okay. Another thing I didn't know about you apparently went in the Army.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for your service.
It's brief.
Were you in like 4 years then?
No, I got out 18 months.
Okay.
Honorable discharge.
Oh.
No disability, stuff like that.
I see.
Complicated.
Where did you, in your stint in the Army, where did you go, and were you in any music?
I went to, no music in the Army. My recruiter did say something about trying out for the Army band, but I was like, nah.
Yeah.
I went to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri for basic.
Okay.
I went to Fort Jackson for AIT as a heavy-wheeled vehicle mechanic.
Oh.
And then I was stationed at Fort Bliss, Texas, in El Paso in a Patriot missile unit.
Oh, okay. All right. But no drumming, no saxophone, no timpani?
No drumming. Well, I did buy a kit when I was at Fort Bliss. And
Okay.
One of my old neighbors growing up's uncle actually transferred to the base I was at.
Oh.
Had learned how to play bass,
Mm-hmm.
and so at one point in time we set up in his garage in the bass housing and jammed out for a little bit.
I see.
And then I got discharged.
I
So
see. Well,
went
dang
back
it.
to Florida.
Which leads me back. So you have a drum kit. Now, when your cousin gave it to you, did you move it to your garage or it stayed there?
So at first it was in my room,
Okay.
and then eventually it moved out to the shed in the backyard.
Okay.
And then I would just, for hours every day, put on headphones and sit in this hot shed in the backyard and just go to town.
Okay.
Try to play anything I could play. My
Sure.
neighbors never complained, actually.
Well, God
'Cause
bless good neighbors.
If I was doing that, I wasn't getting
Did
in trouble.
anyone ever come to join you? Did we ever have like
yeah,
a
we
hot
did.
shed band?
Not
That's
a hot
an
shed
excellent
band.
band name, by the way.
Actually, you're right. No, but I would take it up to a friend's house or whatever, and
Okay.
they had, I had a couple friends in the neighborhood that played guitar and stuff,
Right.
growing up. So we would get together and we would just have fun.
Right.
Nothing ever came out of it. We never, formed a band or anything
Just-
like that. It was
just
just
for
getting
fun.
down, playing fun,
Right.
trying to learn Nirvana songs and
Right.
stuff like that. Because that's about the time Nirvana was, like, blowing up.
Sure. Yeah. Had to learn that Nirvana.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, so we haven't been in a band yet, besides the school bands.
Right.
We get out of the Army, and we move.
Moved back to Florida.
Okay.
I didn't really get back into music when I got back. I just got in trouble.
Okay. That can be fun. I've done a little of that myself.
And then 2001, I was kind of I've met some people. I didn't really know about the music scene in Florida at the time.
Okay.
So I was like 20.
Mm-hmm.
And then before I turned 21, I did meet some people. I knew somebody had a drum set, and I would start jamming with them. And then I went through a seriously traumatic event.
Okay. All right. And that, what happened? Ended your drumming for a while?
It pretty much stopped me dead in my tracks.
Right. Did you sell all your drumming
Well, I didn't
equipment?
own. I didn't have any. I didn't own any at
Oh,
the time.
okay.
So, but
All
it was
right.
just like one of the things I just couldn't pick up
Sure.
sticks again.
Yeah. So there was a long period that we might call a period of darkness in your life.
We'll say within the before the last 6 years.
Last 6 years. So if you like, we will pick up 6 years ago and go from there.
That'd be great.
When you moved back to Rapid, right?
10 years ago I moved.
10 years ago you moved back.
But I picked up drumming 6 years ago.
6 years ago.
Yeah.
And what got you back into drumming, buddy?
So I met. Should I name drop?
Absolutely.
So I met Natasha. I'll say Natasha Carmen now.
Right.
Dexter's
Right.
wife of the Cave Collective.
Natasha, you were invited on the show, by the way. Yes, Dexter's been on the show.
Right.
Yeah.
So I met Natasha back in 2012. I found out about the DIY scene.
Sure.
And the first show I found out about was 2011. It was the Goddamn Gallows.
Okay.
Best time of my life.
Right.
Holy cow. Didn't know anybody there.
Right.
You know, so I was like totally blind, knowing nobody. Just
Right.
happened to go with a friend of mine that I've known since like 05. And we were bored, so I was like, hey, let's go check this out. And we found out about it at Ernie November's, actually.
Okay.
There was a flyer there. And the Wax Bananas were playing. Adam Mundorf, I think he was just a teen. I don't know
Oh.
if you know who that is.
I do not know who that is.
I haven't
No.
talked to him in a while, actually.
Okay.
But anyway, so the Goddamn Gallows was the first DIY punk show I had ever
Right.
gone to. And
Okay.
then I kind of lost track of it for
Sure.
a bit. I got busy working, stuff like that. And then 2012 is when I picked it up again.
Okay.
And then I met Natasha and Dylan Lewis
Mm-hmm.
at those shows. Bob Medic, he was running sound. Dana, can't think of his name, but he played in Combaticus. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked.
Sure. Absolutely. Briefly, when he's talking about Natasha and the DIY punk scene, before you see this, you will, I think, see my video from the new Cave Collective here in Rapid City. And it is so named because of the shows that Natasha used to host at an actual cave. In the Black Hills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Epic shows.
So these were the shows that you were going to.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, actually, they weren't actually at the Cape at that time.
Oh, they were not?
Back when the Imperial Hotel
Okay.
in Romans.
All right.
And then, like, the VFW,
Oh.
Johnny's Billiards used to be in the Valley.
Okay.
We'd have shows there. And then we just kind of, I don't know, man. It just kind of dropped off.
It
I
did.
can't say what exactly it
Right.
was or what year it was, but it just kind of dropped off for a while.
Sure.
And then we would just have shows at the Cave.
Sure. Okay.
And those were a lot of fun. Days and Days was out there. Man, a lot of big DIY punk bands that
Right.
just traveled all over. Tommy Stinson played out there.
I believe, if I heard correctly, Dinosaur Jr. minus Jay Mascis was there.
Yes, Lou Barlow. I missed that.
Okay,
one,
all
unfortunately.
right.
I was working on the road, actually.
Oh, darn it.
Yeah, I was hanging off a grain elevator somewhere.
Dang the road anyway. So, at some point, you decided to pick up the sticks again.
Yeah, so I had the pleasure of meeting Tom Knowlton through Dylan Lewis one night at the Cave. They were just jamming out, and I happened to show up. And just watching him was just like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
You know, mind-blowing, meeting Tom.
He
this
is
kid
amazing.
Just shred this guitar.
Yeah.
I don't know how the strings didn't melt off.
Right.
So between him and Dylan, just going back and forth, Dylan switching between like mandolin and guitar, and then Tom also switching between mandolin and guitar. Both of them just phenomenal. Pick up anything with strings and just destroy it. And then, so after a while, I just kind of picked up a pair of sticks one day, and I was just kind of just tapping along on my leg or something.
Mm-hmm.
Just nothing where anybody could hear
Right.
it, but I was just like, just listening to the rhythm and the tempo, and just kind of messing around with seeing if I could pull something,
Right.
you know, or remember a rudiment or something to kind of go with it. And then there was another time we were out there, and then I met Johnny Hastings.
Right.
And watching him and Tom with each other in the cave.
Sure.
And then a couple years ago, we went down, and actually, there's a video on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
With me, Tom, and Johnny, and I just grabbed a pair of sticks, took them down. They had a guitar case. I think it was after a night. I think him and Johnny played an acoustic at the 445.
Okay.
So we ended up at the cave afterwards, and I picked up a pair of sticks, and I just started sticking along with the rock in the guitar case with them, and it was really fun. And it's just kind of progressed from there. I had jams with Tom at the cave when I bought my Ludwig kit.
Okay.
That breakbeats kit that I have.
Sure.
I've had it a year now, maybe 2.
Oh, sure.
Maybe close to 2 years.
And where did you get it?
I got it at Haggerty's.
You got it at Haggerty's.
Yeah.
And why that particular one?
At the time, price.
Okay.
It's compact.
Right.
I wouldn't be able to take it on the road, but I could easily just store it out at the cave and wouldn't have to worry about it. You know?
Right.
Could just stack in a little corner or something. And I don't know, it was just a cool, fun little kit, and it's what I could afford at the time.
Right.
So,
sure.
like I got back off the road one day, and I was with Natasha's mom, and I was like, hey, let's go by Haggerty's. I want to check out this kit that I've been looking at. So we went and looked at it, and I was like, well, here's half now, and I'll have the half in 2 days.
Right.
So 2 days later, I went, got the other, paid it off, picked it up, bought a cheap pair of HCS vinyl cymbals.
Sure.
And so I had a full kit. Took it back out to the cave.
Right.
There was a band called, Origami Ghost.
Okay.
And they were going to play at the Collective. And so I got to the cave, and I'm like, hey, I got the kit. And they're like, you play drums? And I was like, yeah. They're like, you want to play with us tonight? I'm like, I don't know your music, but sure. So they wanted to go load gear, and it was pretty early in the afternoon. So they're like, all right, well, let's go down. We'll set up gear and practice a little bit.
Right.
I'm like, okay. So I ended up playing a show, or at least half a set with them.
The first day?
The first day I played
Wow.
this kit, just on the fly.
Right.
And it was interesting. It was fun.
Yeah. And that's the thing I love about this man. He will say yes to darn near anything, and he will give it a shot. And it doesn't get him in trouble as often as you would think.
No, it's actually progressed pretty quickly in the last probably 3 years.
Sure. And in the last, I would say, 3 months, it has progressed phenomenally.
In the last, actually, since the beginning of this year.
Sure.
Well, I'd say since February, actually.
Okay,
It's
all right.
pretty much just kind of gone up.
You're filling in all over the place?
Starting to do fill-ins
Yes.
now, but it was just mainly just jumping into jamming here and there
Sure,
with, like,
yeah.
Noah Peterson.
Right.
You know, we would jam together, and then he hit me up one night. He's like, hey, I got a Thursday night thing at Murphy's. And I was like, oh? He's like, yeah, let's play it. And I was like, all right. So I took the breakbeats kit up there.
Right.
And we just rocked out a Thursday night, date night
Sure.
for like 3 hours. Just winged it, really.
Right. So would you say that you would like to be just a drummer? Do you want to be a center stage performer in your own right?
I mean, I've done karaoke once in a while, but
Right.
I don't know if anybody would want to hear me sing
Right.
kind of thing. I don't prefer center stage, really.
Sure, okay.
I do like being more behind the scenes.
Right, okay.
I mean, people do apparently know who I am because I kind of am, in a way, out there.
Right,
But I'm not.
yeah. Yes. You're the guy we can call for drumming.
Drumming, sound help,
Okay,
set
all
up,
right.
stage, because I work with Camp Comfort.
Okay, sure.
I do a
yeah.
lot. I do help
I
them
knew
a lot
that.
with their load in and tear down.
He's wearing a Camp Comfort cap, by the way, right now. Yes. What else do we need to talk about here?
Oh, man. I don't know.
You told me before the show, you are credited as a co-writer on one song on one album. Have you written anything else?
No. We were just by a fire, and he was like trying to figure out a lyric, and then I just threw something out there and it stuck.
I see, and it stuck. Would you like to do songwriting?
I wouldn't mind listening to stuff and trying to put input,
Right.
but I'm not gonna like try to write it.
Sit down and write it yourself.
Yeah. No,
Okay. All right.
I'm not that poetic.
Uh-huh. So, what is one piece of drum gear that you would love to have if money was no object? That Ludwig snare.
Yeah, that Ludwig snare and the 2002 Pasties series.
Oh, okay.
If I could afford those, that'd be great.
Uh-huh.
Right now, I'm trying to come up with the money to get new stuff.
Sure.
So
Well, you keep drumming, you might make the money.
might.
Yeah.
just gotta catch up on other things first. It's tough out there, man.
Alrighty, I think we're about done here. Anything else you'd like to add? Thank you so much for being on the show, Aaron.
Thanks for having me, Matt.
Yeah.
Honestly, you got a pretty good thing going.
Well, thank you. We keep trying here. Yeah. It's nice to get out of the hot today, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. From Perfect Wave Production, I'm Matt Trask. Please remember my sponsorship with Trask LLC. Large, round, and square bales sometimes. Please support my friends at Black Hills Smart Espresso, 4 convenient locations here in Rapid City. And please remember my sponsorship with Trask LLC, large, round, and square bale, and custom hanging services, although it's looking like you might not need that this summer. But call Joe Trask if you do, 515-0858, and we're just going to go with that. Nobody's going to say change your strings or nothing. Thank you so much, Aaron.
Thank you, Matt.
You bet. Woo!